Crit and Miss Out of the Abyss is a Dungeons & Dragons actual play livestream and is recommended for mature audiences. It may contain coarse language, adult humour, descriptions of graphic violence, horror themes, supernatural themes, Aussie slang, and more fun stuff. Now, when you reach a certain age, Grace, you get to a point in your life where changes just make you angry and confused. And it seems like every other week they're coming out with something new, and some new trendy thing with a weird hip name like emails, iPhones, 1D&D, just weird trendy names that I just don't understand. And the older you get, the longer it takes for you to finally admit that the new thing might be better than the last iteration. For example, I myself only finally admitted that emails might be a better way of sending information to another person than a carrier pigeon. Your thoughts, Mark?
Well, you mentioned 1D&D.
Exactly.
I've had a look through the Unearthed Arcana that they've released on Beyond already, and I kind of like it. There's some things I won't be using in my own game, such as nerfing crits for NPCs. There's a line of text that states that critical hits are only things that players get when they roll a natural 20.
Oh no!
But,
See what I mean?
Like, no, that's not happening. But then another little thing, so you know the whole, and a 20 is always a success and a 1's always a fail, only applying to attack rolls?
Mm-hmm.
They're making that apply to everything. Saving throws and checks as well. Which is kind of cool. I like what they've done with the races and the backgrounds. Like, it's a lot more customizable, and everyone gets a first level feat.
But I'm still just angry and confused. I'm angry and confused and everything. Mostly I'm angry and confused about the name. 1D&D. I'm angry and confused about this trend of not sticking to some type of alphanumerical order when it comes to releases. You know,
Yeah.
Xbox One, third iteration of the Xbox. Now you've got Xbox One's R's and Xbox One's S's, and I don't even know anymore. And now you've got 1D&D. What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is.
Well, did you watch the video where they explained that?
I watched about 2 minutes of it, and then I started to get very upset about nothing at all, and I turned it off. Now, I realize where they're going with this. I kid, of course. It's about making everything. It's about... Why is everyone moving around on the map? It's about making everything a little bit more accessible for more people and making a little bit more customization. That's a word. I just made that word up, and now it's a thing in all of my games. So.
Oh, Modbrew made a good point. Apparently 5.5 is an unlucky number in about half the countries of the world and will decrease sales. I don't know how true that is, but I think it's a good thing to consider.
I've never heard the number 5.5 being unlucky. I think just about every number's unlucky somewhere.
I think in Japan, actually, the number 4 is really unlucky, and some buildings actually don't have a 4th floor, and we'll just skip straight to 5.
Well, I tell you what, when it comes to D&D, the number 4 was definitely unlucky, because I never played it, but I heard it's not exactly the best iteration of Dungeons & Dragons.
No.
On the best iteration from Dungeons & Dragons, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is Crit and Miss. We are playing Out of the Abyss. We're back again. We're back. We missed a week, which means we missed an entire month of Out of the Abyss. And I apologize for that. I feel bad that you guys, most of all, the millions of people watching at home, missed out on a full month of Out of the Abyss. But we're back, and I, for one, am excited. I'm not just excited to sit down and play a little bit of Dungeons & Dragons, but I'm excited to play it with these people right here specifically, because they always bring something unique to the game, shall we say. So, on that note, let's go around the table. Let's introduce ourselves again. Oh, and for those people who are watching live on Twitch or watching on YouTube, as you can see, we have a brand new overlay, which I designed myself over the last week. Send in emails, phone in. Let us know if you like it, if you don't like it, if there's something that you feel needs changing. Let us know, and I'll happily change it around and make things a little bit more appealing to the eye, because that's what it's all about. It's not about having good content; it's about just making it look good. Ain't that right, Toby?
It is. At least
I think you're the man. I think you're the man when it comes to not having good content, but just having the looks, just coasting by on your looks.
As long as you look good and pretend you know everything, you fucking can get anywhere.
There you go. I can pretend that I know everything, but I hide my horrible looks behind a face full of hair. So
I was having a conversation with the guy at the casino last night about how you can pretty much convince anyone of anything if you're confident about it.
Yeah,
no matter how much bullshit it is.
People who have watched the previous episodes, or if you go back on YouTube or listen to Spotify or Google Podcasts, you might hear me say a couple of things which are wildly inaccurate, but I say it with such confidence that no one ever questions me on it. Or someone else will say, yeah, that's how a rule works, and I'll just go, yes, you're right. And we'll just move on, even though it's absolutely not right. I have no idea what I'm talking about, and I just agreed with you so I could not have to look it up, because I've got enough tabs open on this browser already. Right. Let's go around the table. Let's introduce ourselves. Let's tell the people who we're playing, and maybe if anyone has something interesting that they've done during the week, put your hand up for that and let us know what you've done. But first, let's get some introductions out of the way. Let's start. Let's go from left to right. Starting with Grace.
My name is Grace. I play Thrash the Troublesome, the Tabaxi Barbarian who likes to beat people up because she's got childhood trauma. She is big and scary and fluffy, and that's the way we like it at Christmas. Big, scary, and fluffy.
Scary, and fluffy. I am fluffy, and some people have described me as scary. If only I was big, and then people in Crit and Miss would actually like me. Speaking of people not liking me, Toby, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, just wonderful. Wonderful. Recovering from COVID, which is always a good thing.
Oh, fun.
Oh, yeah. You see, you had
got
your
that
own
noise
flu.
back again, dude.
I did. But yes, I'm Toby. I am currently playing the Barbarian Paladin Corax after having a little separation from my first character, Perseus. But yeah, wheeling and dealing and showing, the one barbarian in the party, how it goes.
Not suffering from any separation anxiety just yet?
Yes, but look, you get that on the big jobs.
You do. That happens. It remains to be seen what happens to Perseus and his wild dreams of shirtless men. But I guarantee
we got a bless. Thanks,
that's
Roth.
not a story that's over. Oh, yes, and on that note, I should mention, of course, some people are listening on Spotify. Who am I kidding? No one's listening on Spotify, but just in case someone stumbles across it anyway.
I mean, not right now, but they might be later.
They might in the future. Who knows? Maybe someone will discover this little gem of a campaign and really just double down, let all their friends know, which is something that you should do, by the way. And if you're listening, make sure you give us a rating and a review, unless the rating is not good, in which case, don't worry about it. Just move on.
Just leave it out, yeah.
But yeah, the card system is in play, ladies and gentlemen, as Froth's already redeemed a bless. So you can redeem crit coins to buy the players a bless, a health potion, a guidance card, an advantage, or a natural 20. Or you can redeem those crit coins and buy a wild magic surge and or a DM natural 20. And that's really the one that people are really keen about, is that DM natural 20.
Can we refresh on the rules on players buying things while they're playing? Like, I know the nat 20s can't be bought by people while they're playing, but what about other things?
I'm going to make it a blanket rule, I'm going to say no, big no for players
fair.
buying themselves things while they're playing. I
think that's
yeah,
fair.
I think that's fair.
Because otherwise, I've got nearly 6 health potions up our sleeve.
But as for me, I can buy myself whatever I want because those are just the.
It is because he's the DM, and that's how it goes.
But that's so not. I feel like that's the equivalent of the umpire betting against a team.
Well,
I feel like that's unfair.
Umpire privileges.
It's got to be equitable.
If you have to wear that umpire outfit, then you should be able to get some type of
Sven,
advantage out of it.
I'll just point out that if you're doing it in Out of the Abyss, I'm doing it in Tales from the Rogue's Light, and you play in that.
Yeah, hey, look, but the characters that I bring to Tales from the Rogue's Light Tavern, the cannon fodder, I don't have any particular attachment to them. In fact, I would absolutely love to see them die in spectacular fashion, so I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem at all.
Wait for next weekend.
Good evening, Darklaw1989. Thanks for joining us. Just getting the introductions out of the way. And talking about things that were born in 1989. Mark, you're up. Introduce yourself, buddy.
Whoa, thanks, dude. I'm actually a bit older than that.
I don't know. That's the best I had.
Yeah, 1984. So it's right decade.
Yeah, close.
So hey guys, I'm Mark, local muso, and big fan of D&D and playing and DMing here at Crit and Miss. It's good fun. Tonight I will be playing Patch. He's a Furbolg druid / cleric, Circle of Stars druid and Twilight cleric, and he's got his big buddy Bark the dog along for the ride. It should be fun. Currently out of all but 2 of my low level spell slots, and I only have 1 wild shape left. So we'll see how we go. Also, Patch is a pacifist in the Underdark.
Everyone loves a pacifist in D&D.
Yes. He only fights if he absolutely has to defend himself.
Unlike my next
player. Or
player,
save an ally.
Ramy, you're always up for a fight. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. G'day everyone, I'm Remy. I am playing the unkillable, unstoppable Whizlock, I think we've come to
that's
call
what
it.
I've named it. That's right, isn't it? A wizard warlock? A wizard
Yeah, wizard warlock. Pretty dirty build. Enjoying it so far, so we'll see how powerful this unkillable beast can go.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 episodes tops, 3 maybe, if you really push your luck.
Look, to be fair, I think Lady Aethera might be the only one of us that's not been knocked out the entire campaign.
Yeah.
I haven't been under half hit points.
Yeah, you took a hit last time. You took a hit from the old, what was it? Ochre jelly, I think it was. Black
Just
ooze?
one.
I think it was. Yeah, but it was a pretty nasty hit. It was enough with a crit to knock down the barbarian. So just a standard hit on the old Whizlock it's a nasty hit. Put it that way. Now, yes.
I just thought of something to do with the con save thing. Are we going to remind the viewers about that?
Oh, we're going to get to it, but if you want to bring it up now, let's bring it up now.
Well, so apparently everyone but Patch has to make a Constitution saving throw at the start of this game, and Sven told us if we could figure out why we'd get what? Inspiration or something?
Yeah, whoever figured it out gets to have a little point of inspiration.
So I can't remember exactly, but I feel like maybe it was as we were coming out of the water, and most of the party went through the broken part of the wall, whereas Patch came up onto the dock and went through there. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's that.
Well, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if you've won.
If it's not the thing I said before about the ochre jelly thingy.
I'll let you know.
It's on swallowing water.
Anyone else have any guesses they want to throw out there before we get into it? Yeah, no, nothing. Complete and utter silence. No guesses as to why Thrash, Korax, and Aethera need to roll that con save.
Near-death drowning experience.
Hey.
Near-death drowning experience. The
near-death drowning experience.
Drowning.
No, we all had a near-death drowning experience. I think the people watching at home had a near-death drowning experience, drowning in excitement from those athletic saving throws I had everyone do at the end of the previous episode. There, I think that was just was too much. They were drowning in adrenaline. Some people were I got the shakes after that one. I've got hundreds of emails saying that the previous episode should be banned in 27 different countries. Before we get started, I do need to say, Mark, you bought a couple of things with your crit coin that you wanted to carry over. What did you get?
I did. So because players aren't allowed to buy things in the games they're playing in, I was watching Critical Conversations. That was with, is it Evan?
Yeah, Evan Winston from drawingsandragons.com. Guys, if you didn't see that, make sure you jump on YouTube and check that out. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, and really, really brilliant artist too. So yeah, I was watching that and I'm like, I've got like 10,000 crit coin. I'm not playing right now. And so I bought a nat 20 for the DM of the next stream and a nat 20 for the party of the next stream. So we're starting with a nat 20 each.
Balanced it out.
Yay.
There you go. That's fun. A little bit of banter. Who did something interesting during the week before we get started? Who did something fun?
Me?
No? You did? What did you do?
Yeah.
Tell
I
us
played a
about
gig
it.
at the casino last night. That was a bit of fun.
No, I said something interesting.
Well, I got to play music and get paid like heaps of money for it.
Watching the characters dance around while you're talking.
Yeah, that's what the people were doing last night.
They were dancing around, man. They got some real moves going on, and some of them were dressed really weird too. Really, they really
also that
relaxed their dress code for the casino. Apparently, full plate armor is now a go.
I saw a bloke in shorts in there last night. I was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah. Look, the standards aren't what they used to be. Ever since I stopped going out. Valiant Odyssey, thanks, man. Good to see you. How are you, man? I did catch a little bit of your stream earlier today. It was a lot of fun. And you just subscribed for 4 months in a row. You are the best. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right. So let's get this show on the road. Let's roll some dice.
Oh, I did something even more exciting last weekend. Sorry, I forgot.
All right.
Well, I didn't forget, but I was just most recent thing. I went to Rootbound Festival and played at that.
Rootbound,
and that was epic.
Yeah.
That was epic.
Tell us about that. Were there any roots, and was anyone bound?
I mean, there were definitely roots. It was a music festival, and there were trees everywhere, and there were people in tents. So I'd say there were roots.
Okay.
As far as being bound, you probably have to ask the particular people in the tents.
They were,
but not in my zone of experience.
I was going to say they were spellbound by your music. That's what you mean, right?
Well, yes, absolutely, and by many other people's music as well. The music was phenomenal all weekend. Really, really cool. Shout out to Pluto Tango, young lad from Airlie Beach. He played a phenomenal set. A couple of sets after mine on the Sunday. Did a version of All Along the Watchtower that was very impressive, and I've been playing that song for like 15 years, so it's hard to impress me with it.
What's Along the Watchtower? Nice. Who wants to do
All
a
Along the
rendition?
Watchtower? It was originally Dylan's song that Jimi Hendrix did a version. It's like there must be some kind of way out of here. You know the one?
Nope, no idea.
Said the Joker to the thief. I do it way different, so it doesn't sound great right now.
No,
but
it's not ringing a bell, but I'm sure we can look it up and we can jam out.
It's a great song. It's an absolute classic. So yeah, that was really cool. Caught up with a bunch of old friends that I haven't seen in ages. Did a bit of stage work with my mate who was doing sound there, which was cool. Generally had an awesome time. And then epic jams with some of the crew, some of the musos in the afternoon as well. Who to Funk It from Cairns, they were really cool. Paulie P from up Mission Beach Way, and Louis Pluto Tango got up and jammed with us as well. And P Smurf, he's a hip hop dude from Sydney. He got up and spat some rhymes while we were jamming. It was epic. Really cool.
See all of these names, all of these hip names. They're making me feel angry and confused again.
Why is there a fireball on the board?
Why am I over there in the? No, I'm over here, away from the fireball. This is the
last time I leave the map open for the beginning of the adventure. Because I've just been watching characters dancing around, doing the tango. Speaking of tangos, and spell effects appearing all over the place and dancing around. It's kind of like whenever someone says, "Oh, I open the locked chest," and you see all the tokens sort of go and disappear. So what is that? That's a new one. I haven't seen that one before. That's fun.
Oh, is that Thornwall?
Oh, a
Ah.
line with a line of. Oh,
I've never
cool.
seen that one before. There you go. I learned something new. Let's get this show on the road and let's
Where'd my
start
baby
it
fire token go? It's not turned up.
where we left off. Let's actually start with a little bit of recap and a little bit of music for those people listening in and watching at home. We love you. We appreciate you. And I've just put on my radio voice. So last week. Let's talk about, not last week, last month, I should say. Let's talk about last month's session. So, on the last episode of Out of the Abyss, we began with the heroes Athera, Thrash, and everyone's favourite, Jimjar, separated from the rest of the party. Thrash had cast Speak with Animals the previous episode, so she could understand the pleas of help from a dog which had appeared behind them and was barking at them as if it was in some type of trouble, and it was asking for help and begging that they follow it, which they did. They found a man in a furbolg trapped under a rock being attacked by some stupid slimes. They banded together after killing the slimes without much further ado, and they decided to do a little bit of an exploration, a little bit of spelunking into this strange temple, underground temple that they found themselves in. Now the temple was filling up with water as they went. The man's name was Korax, which immediately triggered some sense of rivalry with Thrash the Travelton. And the Furbolg's name was Patch, who apparently knew Sarathel before he died horribly. You continue, some combats happen, and eventually you make your escape by swimming through an inundated tunnel in a thrilling swimming sequence. You find yourself in a large open cavern, probably the biggest one that you've seen since you've left Velkenvelve. The whole chamber is suffused with like a dim light that's radiating from the white-blue crystals that line the cavern walls. But you don't really have too much time to take it in, because all of a sudden, seemingly out of nowhere, a small Darrow appears in a flash of light.
Oh.
Alrighty.
Sorry, I thought he was with us. I moved him closer. I think he was like back here.
He was a little bit further away. We'll have a look and see where everyone is on the old table, and I'll start putting people where they should be.
Oh, who put the fire out?
All right, so you're around.
Because we've just finished a long rest, right?
No, you haven't finished a long rest. You guys just arrived here. Yeah, nice try, buddy. I'm watching you. So did I miss anything? Is there anything that I didn't touch up on, or any questions at this point?
Patch found like 2+ shield in the water on the way, right?
No, that's also incorrect. One more incorrect statement, and you get disadvantage on your next attempt at living.
Shut up.
No, that's a joke. That's not true. But no, you didn't find any things floating around in the water, except maybe the end of your life. Guys, is there anything that I missed out on? Anything that you would like to know before we get the show on the road?
I don't want to be that guy. But didn't everyone else have to make a con save?
Not just
Shut
yet.
up.
We'll get there.
Sorry.
We'll get there. We'll get to the fun part. Yeah, no. So, all right, let's just get straight into it then. There was this small like mote of light, and it's like bright white, and it's illuminating this entire cavern as it sort of sparks and blinks. When a sudden violent flash just leaves this small Darrow man standing in the middle of this cavern. And you look at him, and he's wearing like this opulent leather vest, and it's sort of like decorated with all these little baubles that jingle and jangle as he moves around. You can see he's got like this bluish grey skin, which is normal for the Darrow species, and he's got like these tufts of wild white hair. And he sort of, as he appears, he's like, shit. And he sort of looks around at this cavern, taking in sort of the sight of all these crystals which are lining this large sort of cavern walls, and it's sort of infused with this sort of shimmering blue-white light that you guys know is somehow related to the Phaserus, which is like a magical energy that suffuses the entirety of the Underdark. He looks around. And as he's doing so, his eyes finally lock with you guys as you're sort of standing there in the doorway. And as that happens, you see
buddy.
He puts his hands on a small wand which is sort of hanging loosely on his belt, and he's like, "Oh, hello there. I'm very sorry. I did not mean to intrude."
Oh, it's okay. What's your name?
He looks around at all of you guys, sort of looking in detail about how you guys are dressed, and he sees you're all sort of sopping wet, having just climbed out of the water. And he's like, "Oh yes, of course. Introductions." He sort of, as he's looking at you, he's got his hands just resting on a small wand on his hip. And you get the feeling that he is trying to get a sense of what your reaction to him is going to be. And he says, "My name, why?"
Oh, just saying hello. My name's Patch.
"Oh, yes, well, it's nice to meet you, Patch. And what about your companions? Forgive me for saying this, but it does not look like you are regular citizens of the Underdark."
Well, no, we're not. This is my buddy Bark, and he motions down to the dog beside him.
He looks towards Bark, and you sort of see maybe a sense of not really knowing what he's looking at, but he sort of nods. "Very good, Bark. It's nice to meet you."
And then the blobby fella over there is Glabagool. He's pretty neat.
And as you say that, he looks up towards Glabagool, and you can see like a genuine look of surprise on his face. And he looks a little bit closer, and he's like, "I'm sorry, did you just call that gelatinous cube Glabagool?"
Yes, that's its name.
Huh. Very interesting. And, what about this one? He points towards Athera.
I'm just not really paying attention. I'm casting prestidigitation on myself, so I'm no longer wet.
Ah. He sort of nods as you're casting prestidigitation, and sort of sees... How does it look when you cast that? What's happening?
It just looks like shadows just literally pulling bits of like moisture, and it just drips off onto the ground.
Very interesting indeed. And this one and this one, what are their names? Pointing to Thrash and Korax.
Oh,
I just take the axe off my back slowly and just like put it like head first into the ground and like put one arm on it, rest on it, and just look at him and just sniff at him and just not say anything.
I will mention at this point that he is speaking Undercommon, so those people who don't speak Undercommon, you can't actually understand what he's saying.
No, what he's saying then.
So just go around the table.
yeah, about that. This whole conversation I've just had with him.
You don't speak Undercommon?
No, I speak deep speech, common, elvish, giant, druidic, and celestial.
I probably should have mentioned that he was speaking Undercommon. Who does speak Undercommon in this party?
I do.
I do, apparently.
All right. You know what? Let's retcon it. He speaks Common. As he saw you guys sort of step out, maybe he just understood that you probably weren't from the Underdark, and he's speaking Common to you guys. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to go back and redo that whole conversation. And what is it? Wait, I know this. Tabaxi, yes?
And Thrash has just this entire conversation been shaking herself out like a dog. And she's right next to Aethera, so probably as she's shaking herself out, she's putting all that water back onto anyone else who's around her. And then she just puffs up like a massive ball of fur, then shakes it back off, and it's perfect again.
Here, allow me. I can help you with that. And he draws that little one that's on his hip, and
Don't touch me with that magic. I don't want any magic anywhere near me. I've had my fill of magic for the day.
I apologize. I'm very sorry. Of course not. I just thought that a party that can travel with, he points towards Glabagool, a gelatinous cube and give it a name would be more comfortable with the arcane arts. But if you're not comfortable, certainly I can put this away. Look. And he holds his sort of hands up.
I'm comfortable, but I don't know you. You just popped out of goddamn nowhere and you expect to point your fancy
Thrash, he's being friendly. This is Thrash. See, sometimes a little bit of trouble.
Yes, of course.
One might say troublesome.
I did not mean to intrude. Is this your home? Is this where you stay? It's certainly probably not the best time to go for a swim, but hey, everyone has their own thing. I apologize.
We just climbed out of the water here.
Aha. And might I ask what it is that you're looking for? We don't tend to get many tourists here in the Underdark. It's not really a tourist-friendly sort of place, if you don't mind my asking.
Tourist being the operative word.
You
think we wanted to come down here?
Yeah.
We were taken by, what are they called again? The scary white-haired people that are like,
I wanted to be down here.
The drow.
I'm pretty sure our new companions also wanted to be down here as well.
Well, yeah, I came looking for my half drow buddy that you told me didn't make it. They're not all bad.
Most of the drows are.
I must admit, I've met one or two drow who were quite agreeable. So he's not entirely wrong, but here in the Underdark, it is best to how do you say, keep your distance from the drow for the most part. And if you are captured by them, then as a citizen of the Underdark, I must extend to you my deepest apologies, and hopefully that has not done damage. There are, of course, people in the Underdark who abhor the ways of slavery and violence, and are seeking to bring the light of civilization, as it were. I can see that you are quite civilized yourself. Excuse me, the magic I've been using has become quite unstable of late. I had a bit of troubles. As I was saying, I did not mean to intrude upon your space. Are you saying that perhaps you're lost?
Lost. We're just directionally confused.
We're
Give me
lost.
a minute and we'll figure it out.
We're lost.
Yeah, we're lost.
You're lost.
We're not. Don't tell them we're lost.
Perhaps
We're
this is
lost.
perhaps this is a stroke of good fortune, so to speak. I am a citizen of the Underdark, and I know my way around quite well. But of course, here in the Underdark, nothing comes without a price, and I am very, very interested in your unusual company that you're keeping. He points towards Glabagool, and he's like, could you perhaps tell me a little bit more about this one?
Sorry, my ears might be a little bit waterlogged there, mate, still, but I don't think I've heard your name correctly as of yet.
Oh, no, I told you what my name was. I told your... what are you exactly? I've never seen one like you before. He points towards you, Patch.
I think forest people.
Forest
Not really
people,
sure.
of course. And that would be why I've never seen one of you before. There's not many forests down here in the Underdark. That makes much sense. Look, as I was saying, I have, of course, introduced myself. My name, why?
so we know who we're talking to.
It's considered polite when
Yes.
you meet someone new to exchange names.
Are you saying your fucking name is Y?
There, he gets it. My name a Y. This is what I said. This is what I've been trying to say you. Look,
Oh,
I
your
did not
name is
expect the one-
Y.
Oh, yes, this is what I've been
Oh.
saying, of course.
Oh, sorry. Misunderstood. Yes, okay. Why? Nice to meet you, Why?
Nice to meet you too. It's a pleasure to meet you, Patch, and a pleasure to meet your friends. I am very sorry. Of course, I speak with a bit of a heavy accent. As I said, Common is not my first language. I correctly assumed that it was your first language, but like I said, if I say something confusing, then please just let me know. But my name, why?
Wonderful. I think we were still kind of distracted by having just survived only by this much to get to here.
Yes, it does seem that you've been through quite an ordeal, and there's a couple of you that seem a bit worse for wear. Well, as I can say, I don't exactly know where I am. He looks around the cavern. It seems that my ability to teleport has been a little bit, unpredictable of late. Now, this is nothing new here in the Underdark. The Phases has always had this effect, but it appears that it has become quite a bit more potent lately, which may have something to do with the thing that we have been, did I say we? Sorry, I have been investigating. Or it may not. But it appears that my coming here not only was a stroke of luck for you, but also a stroke of luck for me, for this area seems to be quite infused with the Phases. He looks around at all of the crystals that are sort of sticking out of the walls and all that kind of thing, but he looks back towards you and he says, now you said that you were prisoners of the Drow. Do you, and you escaped? Correct? Do you know if the Drow are perhaps in pursuit of you? I know that a lot of them do not take insult lightly.
Yeah, we're pretty sure they're after us.
It is very unfortunate indeed. And you came from over there. Might I just have a quick look? He points towards the building that you guys came through when you sort of emerged from the water and you made your way up the pier and through the building. Ooh, posture check from Josh Robertson, everyone.
Do me like that?
There you go, much more better. Would you mind if I just have a quick look? And perhaps you can regale me with exactly why it was that you were swimming from underwater, and maybe a little bit about where you came from. I would like to learn more, if that is okay.
I mean, we've been separated from our party, and I'd like to get back to them. I'm not necessarily, we sort of were a team, and I'm new to this whole team thing. But we were getting out, which was great, and then kaboosh.
Well,
a massive mine shaft fell on us.
I can confirm one
wasn't
thing.
great.
It is definitely, when you're traveling in the Underdark, it is the best course of action to travel with friends and people that you can trust. He makes his way through the building back the way you guys came. He's sort of keeping his distance as much as he can from you guys, just still sort of seems to be a little bit wary and just kind of watching what your reaction will be, but he seems to be comfortable enough to at least come within 5 feet as he moves past you. And he makes his way back towards the water, and you see him, when he gets to that doorway, he puts his hand on the door sill and sort of leans out, looking one way and the next. And he calls back out towards you guys with his voice echoing through the empty halls of what must have been maybe some type of abandoned mining station of some sort. And he's like, if you don't mind my asking, do you know where you are heading?
Neverlight, Neverlock.
Neverlight Grove.
That one.
Aha, of course, yes. You must have had good information. Yes, the machinations of Neverlight Grove are are a good people. I've been there once or twice myself, and they offer safety and succor to those people who are lost here in the Underdark. Tell me, do you intend to stay there?
I think these guys want to get out of here, and now that I know what happened to my buddy that was with them, me too, so it would be there, then out of here from there. Guys, back me up. Is that what the plan is?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
want to
new.
be in this ditch any longer than I have to be. My garrison's going to be looking for me, and there's going to be hell to pay if I don't get back in time.
He sort of is still looking out over the water, and he's like, well, there's one thing that I can tell you. If you're seeking the safety of Neverlight Grove, the quickest way to get there would be, of course, to travel the Dark Lake and make your way to the port at Gracklestug. Now, if that is indeed your intention, I would highly recommend that when you arrive in Gracklestug, that you... what's the right words? Oh, how you say, keep a low profile, so much as possible. The Duergar of Gracklestug, they're a gruff sort, even at the best of times, and reports from my compatriots tell me that it is quite tense in the city of Gracklestug of late. In fact, and he sort of comes back inside, pulls himself back via the door frame that he was sort of hanging on there. He looks back towards you guys, and with sort of like a hint of seriousness and maybe a little bit of melancholy in his voice. It's not only Gracklestug that has been experiencing some problems. I'm sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sure the 6 or 7 of you have experienced some darker goings on of late. May I be the first person to tell you that, well, the Underdark has always been... It's never been a safe place, so to speak. It is not always as it is right now.
You mean it's not always turn left monster, turn right monster,
Well,
die,
I mean...
come back again?
It's always had a reputation of being somewhat uncivilized, and that is something that I and my compatriots have been working to correct, as it were. Now, of course, the Drow have a reputation for being quite sinister. It is just a part of their culture, and it is something that we've been slowly attempting to change over time. I abhor violence, and I abhor the use of slave labor, so to speak. So, of course, the Underdark has never exactly been a safe place for the unwary and for tourists such as yourself. Please, I'm sorry, I do not mean to be offensive when I say tourists, but it is obvious that you are new here. It's not of your own doing, of course, but you are here nonetheless. Now, the Underdark has been plagued somewhat of late, and I'm sure you've noticed. Tell me, have you had any,
As he mentions that we all look like tourists, Patch is just going to casually wander over to Korax and just be like, I thought you said you knew this place.
Mate, the Underdark's always been a fucking right shithole full of twats. I'm just here to get paid.
Okay. Oh shit, that's right. I'm going to have to pay you at some point.
Yes, as I was saying, have any of you had any, run-ins with demonkind since you've been here?
Yes.
Apparently.
Demon? When did that happen?
We told you, that's when Serathel died.
Oh, that's right. I think I might have blocked some of that conversation out.
Oh, my deepest condolences for your lost companion.
Thank you. I've been instructed to take up whatever cause Serathol had. If he was fighting a demon,
The demon's dead.
but are
His
there
cause-
more?
We don't know that, but what I do know is that he wanted to get out, and now we're gonna get out together because I'm not staying in this shithole. So we're
Well-
leaving, and
Well,
that's pretty much.
I know Serathol would have wanted to help you get out as well, so I'll do that first, and then maybe come back.
So what you are saying is, who amongst you has had some experience with demons while you have been here in the Underdark?
Present.
And I'm sorry I did not catch your name earlier. What was your name, Miss?
Just ladies, fun.
Lady, of course. Well, it's, as I said, we've been experiencing trouble here in the Underdark of late, and that is exactly the reason why I am here. You see, I've been doing a little bit of study, and it is my belief, or my understanding, so far, that what is occurring with the Phaserus is a direct result of this demonic incursion which has been occurring here in the Underdark. And I actually have a little bit of a theory about your gelatinous cube friend. I know that a couple of you seem a little bit worse for wear. If you would be willing, I would love to share my camp with you for the next few hours. It will be some time before I am able to once again use my teleportation. And I would also like to spend a little bit of time doing some investigation here in this chasm as well, for it seems that the Phaserus is quite strong here.
What do you think, guys?
Where are you going to teleport us to?
Well, unfortunately, my teleportation, it only works for myself, so I cannot help you with that. But I believe that I have a good understanding, at least not exactly where we are, but which direction that you might wish to head in once of leaving here. Of course, I will not withhold that information from you. I'm quite happy to tell you which way to go. But I would love to have the company. As I said, the Underdark can be a dangerous place, even at the best of times, and these are not the best of times.
We could use a rest.
He reaches into his vest and he pulls out a small silver box that you can see is inlaid with this very fine and delicate sort of filigree, and he pops it open, and inside you can see there's like neatly arrayed 12 cigars. He pulls one out, puts it in his mouth, closes the box and puts it back into his pocket. He holds up his hand and he starts clicking his fingers, and you can see like little sparks coming off his fingers. He's like, looks like he's having trouble. He's like putting his hand up.
Patch will step forward and move up to him and do exactly what he's trying to do. Click his fingers, produce flame cantrip, and hold it out in front of him for him to light his cigar.
He leans forward and allows you to light his cigar. He takes a couple of puffs, and you can see like this thick grey smoke sort of like puff out from his lungs, and he goes, why, thank you very much. That is
okay.
A new spell for me. I've been practicing it, but unfortunately have not had much success with it so far.
It's all in the room. You gotta go whoop whoop. And Patch will do it again just to show him. And then
he tries it again, clicks his fingers, and again, like sparks and just like more smoke. And he sort of...
Keep trying, buddy.
This, the study of arcane, it's not exactly something that comes naturally to me and my kind. But I have spent a great number of years perfecting the art, and I'm sure I will get this over time as well, especially with your help, good sir. Thank you.
That could be where you're going wrong. This is not arcane, it's nature. It's an element.
And you have a special connection with nature?
I really do. It's my favorite thing, other than the stars, which I wish I could see.
The stars. Of course. I myself have never seen the stars, but I have heard stories of them in the books that I have read and from the people that I have met.
Oh, do you want to see something cool?
Well, I mean, sure.
Just
What have you got?
Side note, assuming we are about to take a rest.
Well, we'll get to that.
At least a short one. Yep. All right. So I'll use my remaining wild shape to go into my starry form, and so my body takes on the glowing sort of sense, and all the like lines and edges of the body all aglow with little starlight points, and it's like there's a constellation of a chalice sort of over my chest plate. It's all aglow. This is what stars look like.
And I imagine, while it's dim light sort of outside of this building, on the inside it might be like quite a bit darker. So I imagine your starry constellation thing.
It's like, I'll double check. It's at least 10 feet of bright light, and then dim light beyond that. It might be further.
And I sort of think of it like almost like light reflecting off a disco ball sort of thing. Like you can see the motes of light sort of, or maybe even like one of those holograms that you see in like Star Wars or something like that, where you can see all the constellation of the stars.
Yeah, it's like that.
And he sort of takes a puff from his cigar. And you see
10 foot bright, 10 foot dim.
You see the red glow from his cigar as he takes another puff, and he takes it out of his mouth, sort of looking around with a look of wonder and amazement. And he walks over to one of the constellations, and he sort of traces it with his finger, and he says, "What is this?"
This is a constellation. Stars make shapes and patterns that we can see in the sky. This one lets me tune into the energies of healing.
This is all completely new for me. As I said, I've only ever read about this in books. Never have I seen it. I must admit, I have a bit of love for my homelands, but perhaps one day, when I've made the changes here in the Underdark that I seek to make, perhaps one day I will visit this land above and see these stars for myself.
They're really pretty.
Wondrous. Now, he turns towards you, Athera. And what can you tell me about the gelatinous cube? Now, as I said, it's not exactly common for people to be seen with a gelatinous cube.
He's just self-aware.
Self-aware, you say? Perhaps you can tell me a little bit more.
Named himself. We found him in a temple, and he's currently trying to learn.
How does he speak
That's all
to
you get. No. And Thrash sort of turns to Athera and she's like, X-nay on the cube day. And then she turns back to the Darrow and she's just like, look, no. You don't get to just pop out of nowhere and learn all of these things about us. We know absolutely nothing about you. And I'm growing attached to this little cute guy, and you don't get to... No, I'm serious.
You could...
No. Let her speak. She has the right to speak. Please allow her.
I understand how you feel, but you could be a little nicer about it.
I'm happy to tell you anything you'd like to know about the creature. She is fascinating.
She is not wrong. It pays to be wary of strangers here in the Underdark.
And maybe Glabagool could learn something from why?
Look, if there is anything that you wish to know about me, I can't say exactly that I am an open book, so to speak, but I can answer some questions, certainly. He looks towards you, Thrash. What is it that I could tell you that would make you feel better at ease?
I'm gonna be honest with you, just about nothing.
Well...
And Thrash just sort of looks back at him and looks away and is just sort of standing guard, ready for, like, She's just waiting because this is just a very unfamiliar area and he's just popped out of nowhere. And I don't think she quite has a grasp on just how magic works. I think it's a bit beyond her and she'd prefer not to know.
Well then, look, perhaps I can offer you something different. Huh? A gift, perhaps, would make you feel a little bit better at ease. One moment, I found something recently, and this is not something that you find here often in the Underdark, at least not of this vintage. He turns towards the side, he sits down on one of those stools and sort of like rests up against the broken table. He turns towards his side where he's wearing like a satchel, which is around his shoulder. He reaches in and he's like digging around for a second, and he pulls out like a bottle and he holds it up, and it's sort of, you can see that bright light coming from Patch, and it's reflecting off like this sort of bubbly yellowish liquid inside this bottle. And he turns it around and has a look at the label on it, and he says, "Yes, I found this not that long ago. I thought, what a stroke of luck. I've never heard of this vintage before. Perhaps would it make you feel better, Miss Troublesome, if we could sit down and have a drink together?"
It'll make me feel a lot better, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, I'll take
Just basically grab the bottle off him.
Oi, that was for me. And Thrash sort of walks over and she's like, "Never take a woman's alcohol." And
I'll just
we'll
do
share it.
Wait.
and then pass the bottle.
Thrash takes it and like wipes it off with her elbow. She's like, "Cooties," and then like swigs it.
Please, this is for everyone. I wish to have some also. You know this is very rare.
Yeah. We're gonna I'm a big girl. I need lots of liquid. And then she hands it back.
None for me, thank you. But thank you.
Which is ironic since you can't get drunk for the next, what is it? How many days?
What?
This is the one thing I have, but we don't even have liquor. That's unfortunate.
So you pass around this bottle. Does anyone look at the bottle?
I didn't drink any.
You have a look at what you're drinking before you swigged it?
I look at the bottom of it.
Probably would have been a good idea.
I mean, I'll look at the bottle, see if it's pretty.
You take it in your hands and you turn it around, and on the side of it there's like a square. It's like stuck to it. It's like a label. There's a square label on it, and it's got like this nice almost plant-like filigree around the outside, and written on the center of this label is a name.
Is it in a language I can understand?
It is, if you read
Celestial, Common, Deep Speech, Druidic,
Common,
Elvish, Giant.
of course.
Common.
Common, yeah, it's just written in Common, and it's called Betherwick Orchard Cider.
Betherwick Orchard Cider. Does that mean anything to anybody?
It does. It's from the one shot. You know,
Oh,
with Sven.
yeah. Cool.
Oh my god. How
That's
fun is
awesome.
that?
That's awesome.
You get inspiration, Grace. There you go.
Yeah.
For remembering the Betherwick
Nice one.
Orchard.
And Thrash will pass the bottle on. Not taking a drink.
Does this help to alleviate some of your misgivings?
You pass for now.
As I said, I would very much
Thrash
like.
would just lean over and whisper to him, like I said, troublesome.
He pats you on the shoulder and he says, I appreciate it. Look, I can tell, that some people have had a harder life than others, and I do not hold that against you at all. I would very much be interested in having a conversation in Gabagool, but if that makes you feel uncomfortable, then I will not do so. I do not want to overstep my boundaries.
Well, I think that should be up to Gabagool.
Well, perhaps I could ask him.
Well, what do you think, guys? Is that okay, Thrash?
Well,
I'll ask Glabagal if
I
he wants
suppose now that
to
he's
talk to the...
sentient, it's his choice.
Okay. Hey, Glabagal, do you want to have a chat with this nice fellow Y we just met? He'd like to learn about you. Maybe you can learn something from him too.
Glabacool comes sort of sliding over, like moving back and forth, and you see the eyes swivel towards you, and you hear Glabagool's voice in your head while you see his gelatinous form like undulate and move around while he's talking like early 2000s Windows Media Player. He's like, is he another friend?
We think so. He seems friendly. We just met.
And the eyes swivel over towards where Y is sort of sitting, and Y is sort of still seated by the table, sort of resting nonchalantly with one arm on the table, and then with the other one he sort of takes a puff of his cigarette. And you see Glabagool undulate and vibrate like he does when he's talking. And then you hear Y saying, "That is very interesting indeed. And tell me, what is your earliest memory?" And you see again as Glabagool vibrates a voice. And what did the voice say to you? Glabagool vibrates. And as he's doing so, Y just looks enraptured, and he's sort of furrowing his brow and listening to whatever it is that Glabagool is saying, and he's like, "Where did it call you to, if you don't mind my saying, or my asking?" Glabagool vibrates again and goes, a domed building, you say? Very interesting indeed. Please, Mr. Glabagool, if you would mind, could I speak to your friends here for a moment? And you see Glabagool vibrate, and he's like, yes, I can be your friend also, of course. I would wish to speak to your friends for a moment, in private, if that's okay. And you see Glabagool's eyes pivot inside of his gelatinous body over towards you, Patch, and you hear his voice in your head again, and he's like, "Should I leave?"
I want to insight check why, just to see if I can get a sense of why he wants Glabagool to
Yeah, okay, let's get that
off.
first roll for the night. We're 1 hour and 20 minutes into the stream. Let's get a roll on the
Oscar.
table.
23. That's 19 plus 4.
23. Pretty good. All right. So you're looking for body language. You're looking for the or listening to the tone of his voice and trying to get a little bit of a sense of what his motivation is for why he's asking Glabagool to leave. Now, this is someone that you've only just met, but you have been watching him this entire time, and he has had this sort of this body language that looks, whilst friendly, is maybe a little bit unsure, maybe a little bit defensive, just trying to gauge the situation. And while Glabagool was talking, you could see that he was like, he was asking questions quite purposefully. Like, he might have already had a good idea about what was going on, and whatever it was that Glabagool was telling him was sort of confirming something that he already may have had some idea about. So you kind of get the feeling that he wants Glabagool to leave because maybe what he's going to say might make Glabagool unhappy. He doesn't really know Glabagool that well and isn't quite sure if Glabagool is going to lash out or something like that.
Can Glabagool understand my thoughts if I just think and don't speak?
No, you need to really form... Oh no, he can now that
Yeah,
he's,
like if I
he's
think,
established he's established the connection with you. Now that if you just
Yeah.
think words, then yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll meet Glabagul's gaze, and I'll just think in his direction. It's okay, buddy. I'll let you know whatever he says.
Oh, okay.
I just think he's being a little bit wary, but I think it's okay.
You see the eyes sort of swivel around. What's up, evildoer? Thanks for joining us, my good friend. It's great to see you.
Hey.
You see the eyes in this gelatinous form sort of swivel around, and it looks towards Thera, looks towards Thrash, and looks towards Korax for a second, and then sort of he starts backing out, and he squeezes through that doorway, like shoving gelatin through a small hole. He's like sort of through it and just makes his way. And in the dim light, you can sort of see like light glowing from all those like Phasrus magic infused crystals sort of get like light passing through a gelatinous sort of substance. You can see it sort of like move around, as it were, as Glabagul just moves off a little bit, 20-30 feet further away. And then Y looks back towards you and says, "Thank you, Patch. It is not it's not that I don't trust you, it's just that, this is the first time that I've come across a gelatinous cube that is aware of its surroundings. Normally a gelatinous cube is what's the word? An ambush predator. It has no thoughts, it has no speech. Have you ever wondered what it is exactly that has given Glabagul his ability to communicate and be aware of his surroundings, his sentience, as it were?"
Just asking for a little small recap. Have we touched on that at all with when we met him?
When you met Glabagul, he told you that the first thing that he could remember was a voice talking to him in his dreams. And
Yes.
the voice told him his name, and that's really all that he told you, that the voice was calling him somewhere.
Okay, in that case, yeah. So, we haven't really had time to do that yet. We just found him in the pit back there where we nearly died, and we escaped together.
I have a theory,
Hmm.
and I think that perhaps, more than one of you are have knowledge of the arcane, and perhaps you could be of assistance with my study. One moment. He goes back into that satchel that he has hanging around his shoulder, and he pulls out like this large, like dark tome, and you can see that it has some writing on the cover of it, and it's written in this like sort of silvery sort of lettering. Does anyone? Oh yes, Thrash, you speak Dwarvish. Anyone else?
I do.
Nope.
Nope.
It's coming in handy.
Coming in handy. Give me a perception
Yeah, but can
check,
Thrash
if you wish.
read?
Her
No, like,
intelligence
legit,
is not that low.
Okay.
We can actually check that.
Barbarian.
She's an assassin. She hasn't even got a neg to her intelligence. She's
There you go.
black.
She has
just
she has an
checking.
intelligence of 11, so a plus 0. So that makes her just slightly above average.
Average. I mean, you got to be smart enough to read the head count on the person you're gonna murder. Like,
All right.
I had to
So,
make her smart enough to read.
did you want to see if you can catch a glimpse of that title, or not
Yes,
so interested?
I
Yeah.
would.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to roll, but my computer's deciding it doesn't want to. What would you like me to roll?
A perception check.
Okay. Oh, that's a bit better. Thank you. Oh, never mind. Okay. Let's see.
So can we assume that this conversation is like taking place over a short rest at least, or are we getting a long rest in?
That's a 23.
We'll get there. 23. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's more than enough. Some of the starlight sort of glints from Patch's sort of starry form, which is still sort of making its way around the room. I imagine it's sort of just like slowly pirouetting.
Yeah. It lasts for an hour. So.
Lasts for an hour. Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't really matter. I was just going to say, just for flavour's sake, like it's still there. Like it's just sort of spinning around the room slowly and just sort of lighting things up.
Yeah, I sort of see it like the constellations is like it's the one main constellation, lots of ones, and maybe the other kind of constellations that you can do, like the Archer and the Dragon, are there but smaller and drifting around, and it's the cup that is in focus on the chest.
Well, I like to think of it as like they're all sort of there, but the chalice one sort of has like lines in between it, sort of indicating that that's the one that's active at the moment.
Yeah, nice.
But it's not my spell; it's your spell, so.
I think a bit of both kind of works there.
Bit of both, yeah, exactly. I like it. I love it. In fact, Thrash, you get a good look at the cover of this book, and you can see that it's written in like these, like silvery dwarvish runes, fiendish codex on it, and he sort of lays it down on the remains of this table, which is sort of cracked into 3 pieces, and he sort of brushes away some of the debris and flips open the book, and he starts going through it, and he's like flicking through pages, and he looks back towards you guys and he's like, oh, my apologies, this may take a little bit of time. If you have something that you wish to do, then now might be a good time. I have a little bit of research to do before I can confirm my suspicions, or maybe not confirm them.
Okay.
So, at this point, do you guys want to take a rest? You can take a long rest, you can take a short rest, you can do whatever you want. You can throw him into the lake, you can kill him, you can take all his stuff. It's up to you.
Patch votes for a long rest because spell slots. I mean, a short rest will give me back my wild shapes, but without spell slots to cast healing spells.
Fair.
Just need to check something. Okay, yep. And so, before we rest, I'm going to cast Goodberry twice.
Okay.
So I have 20 good berries that will last for the next 24 hours.
All right, so you have 12 good berries, and talk to me about good berries. How do they work?
20. Up to 10 berries appear in your hand or infuse magic for the duration. A creature can use its action to eat 1 berry. Eating a berry restores 1 hit point, and the berry provides enough nourishment to sustain a creature for 1 day. Berries lose their potency if they've not been consumed within 24 hours. And I have 2 spell slots left, so 2 castings is 20 berries. So that's enough to make sure everyone's got food for the rest, and have some left over, tiny bits of out of combat healing and stuff if we need it.
All right, so let's go around the table. You want to hand everyone 1 berry, correct?
Yes.
So chuck 20 in your inventory, take away 3.
And 1 for me, 1 for Bark.
1 for you, 1 for Bark. So yeah, take out.
I ate mine as soon as it's put in my hand.
Yeah.
You puts a berry in my hand, I chuck it straight in my mouth.
Yeah, nice.
Those people who are
and then
eating the berry,
I'll
heal
offer
yourself 1 hit point, and then we'll come back, yeah?
Yeah. I'll offer 1 to Y, as Vigor Glabagol probably doesn't eat, so it probably won't work on him.
He, well, how do you offer it to him?
Oh, yeah, I guess I'll hold it out to him and see if he can, you know, like, and ask him, do you eat? Do you want a berry?
He's sort of distracted by the book, and he takes the cigar out of his mouth and exhales, and you see more of that smoke sort of come out.
Oh, why? I thought you were asking how I'd ask Glabagol.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Y.
Yeah. No, sorry. With Y, it'd be more like, this berry will keep you fed for the day if you would like it.
Yeah. Okay. 1 moment.
Magic berries, they're cool.
Oh,
That'll be.
I appreciate the offer, but I have my own food.
Okay. So he doesn't take one.
Yep.
I will go up to Glabagul and just let him know that, just quietly in thinking that everything's okay. That Y might have some theories as to how it was that he became aware of himself.
Oh.
And he's going to do a little bit of research and see if he can figure it out. And would he like a berry?
A berry?
Yeah, it's food.
You see, like, the eyes come, like, to right up to the edge of the gelatinous sort of structure, and they see the little eyeballs just pivot towards this berry, and it's like, consume?
Yes, consume. Here. And I'll sort of like put it into the side of his, like wherever he absorbs stuff from. I guess
You
everywhere.
Go to put it in him, and you like, and it sort of falls to the ground. And then, like, you see, like, his gelatinous form just sort of like reach out, and it's like over the top of it. And then you see, like, the berry like float up, and just like those slimes that you guys fought earlier, you see like the berry just slowly start like disintegrating and coming apart.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So one for Glabagul, one each for everyone in the party, one for Bark, 6 berries.
All right, so you got 14
So I have
berries
14
left. Everyone can heal themselves 1 hit point, and you guys are going to take a long rest. All right,
Yes.
so I'm going to need a couple of things. First of all, Thrash, from you, I'm going to need your what's the word that we gave it? The check for the
Insomnia.
insomnia. So give us that insomnia check first, because it could matter.
Roll, please. Pass.
11. Pass. Okay, so you're good. Oh, also, guys, I spoke to Grace during the week, and I have decided to balance out a little bit her insomnia, a little bit more. When she is under the effects of her insomnia, she is going to get 1 extra use of rage for that day.
Cool.
Because, I don't know about anyone else, but when I'm really, really tired, I'm also really, really angry.
Yes.
So I thought that was fun. Thought I'd balance that out a little bit more and add a little bit more flavour to the insomnia. So, but that's a pass. So no worries there. Now I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw from. Let's have a look. I wrote this down. Here we go. Thrash, Korax, and Athera.
Let's do it.
And while they're doing that, guys, just a quick point of order. We have on the table at the moment, we have a DM natural 20, we have a player natural 20, we have a wild magic surge, we have a guidance, we have a health potion, and we have an advantage on the table.
So we didn't wild surge with either of those good berry casts? That's a leveled spell.
Yeah, but nah, I'm not going to do it.
Nah.
I'm going to save it for some time when it's more
Wait, I was
appropriate.
gonna ask.
Yes.
I am more than willing, because I feel like it's everyone else uses spells and Thrash is the only one who does it.
Yep.
I'm more than willing to allow you to use the wild magic searches on my rages.
We have enough spells, Grace. It's fine.
It seems unfair. So
No, it's
I'm willing to allow
100%
that.
fair.
What do you reckon,
100%
guys?
fair.
Let's put it to a vote. Let's go around the table and see what everyone thinks. So, obviously, Grace, I think you're in favour of using those for rages. Yeah.
I feel like it's unfair if I don't participate in it, since she's not a spellcaster.
Okay. Toby Maguire,
but
what do you got?
Being a spellcaster and a rager, no, thank you. A lot of the like wild magic stuff, it's the fair few of them are like AOE or like target multiple people, so I feel like everyone gets included regardless.
Fun.
So
Yeah, and also you getting hurt means I have to heal you, which could trigger a wild magic surge. So you're already
Is wild
contributing
magic on
by
everything,
tanking.
or just when the...
Whenever we cast spells, Sven can choose to use a wild
can
magic
choose.
surge on us.
Yeah, God no, keep it
But
spells only.
I'm keeping it fair. Obviously, if my NPCs are casting or bad guys are casting spells as well, I will use it on their spells also, with equal regularity. It's just that you don't often come against spellcasters, so it's more leaning
I have
towards.
I have an idea for a mechanic that we can discuss when we're not looking. It might spice that up a little bit.
Well, there is one thing that I'm still working on. I still want to implement the fan wild magic cards. Still working on it. I will get those out
that's
sometime
cool.
soon.
All right, well,
And-
just quickly, the idea I thought of, do you know how with a normal surge with sorcerer, it's every time they cast a spell, the modifier goes up by 1, and they have to roll a d20 every time they cast and get above that number. So my thinking is we could roll a d20 every time a spell is cast. The amount of wild magic surges that that the chat buys is what the modifier is. So we have to roll above that.
So
if they
1, 2,
buy
3,
10,
4.
well, yeah, but if they buy 10 wild magic surges, then we have to roll.
That's all well and good. I don't have room for 10 wild magic surges. There's only 4 available for
okay.
thing. Yeah, so that's. But I don't mind it. We could even do 10 plus the wild magic cards.
Make it. We'll make it off of a. Maybe we could make that roll off of a D8 or something.
Toby, the chat wants you to smile. Give us that winning smile, buddy. There it is. I can always coax it out of him. Just a little tickle on that old funny bone. Let me get him.
Goldilocks, you can always trust them to be
No.
on the ball.
Watch the viewers skyrocket now that I've got him smiling. 100, 120. Oh my god, guys, this is the most viewed episode of Out of the Abyss so far. No, I'm joking. That's a lie. We'll get there one day, but not just yet. Alright, so Constitution saving throws from Korax, Thrash, and Lady Aethera. Korax, you got a 19, you're good. Thrash the Troublesome, you got a 7, not so good. And Lady Aethera Westington. Alright, let me have a quick look
here. Did anyone guess correctly as to why this is happening?
You know what? I'm going to throw it out there, give you guys one last chance to make this guess for inspiration.
God.
Is it...
I still think it's water in the lungs. Something akin to there being water in our lungs.
Parasite?
I got a 22, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you're fine.
Is it because I'm the one that's been talking with Glavigal and no one else really has?
No, Thrash talked to him, and Aethera talked to him as well, so they had quite a conversation. No more guesses? Alright. I'll tell you what, Korax, Aethera, you guys are fine. But Thrash, when you wake up, you're feeling a little bit, I don't know, there's a little bit of a sting in your stomach, maybe just off to the left. You're just not feeling so good, like something's a little bit off. So yeah, that's what you feel. I want you to put this down on your character sheet somewhere so that you remember, so that I don't forget.
Oh god.
All right. Let me just have a look at what the effect here is gonna be.
No. Is this like a permanent thing? Oh god, I hope it's not a permanent thing.
Where is it? It's only like a mild discomfort, but for the next 3 weeks, if you have to make a saving throw to fend off a disease, you are going to do that with disadvantage.
Okay.
Alright, so you guys see probably that Thrash is not feeling so good. I don't know, Thrash, is there any... Would you show that to your teammates, or would you try and keep that a secret?
I mean, I don't think she's gonna tell them, but if they notice, she's not gonna, like, pretend she's not. Does that make any... Like, If they can come to their own assumptions. If they ask her about it, then she'll tell them. But if they don't ask, then she won't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that works. Just looking at something.
All right. Sometime during the rest, you hear Y sort of call out. And he's like, "Ah, yes, I think I have it. Here." And he's like tapping on one of the pages of this book. Let's have a look. Yes. And does anyone come over to have a look or anything like that?
But look, now that I know it's in Dwarvish, I'll be over there.
I got my feet kicked up on what's left of this table and just chilling.
Can I, while we're sort of getting ready in the morning, ritual casting doesn't consume a spell slot, does it?
No, it just takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, can I ritual cast in the morning, speak with animals? Just to have a chat with Bark? Make sure he's okay. We don't need a roleplay, just to make sure he's all good and that, you know, we're probably going to need to, you know, be quiet as we go forth, so I'd really appreciate it if he could be a good boy and give him a fresh piece of bark to chew on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're sort of in the throes of this long rest at the moment.
Cool.
So you guys come over, and he has the book open to a page, and if you sort of peer over his shoulder, you can see this illustration of something that appears to be just like this massive, complex structure of like slime and strange body parts that are almost seem to be like completely constructed out of this dark slime-like material. And he says, "Here, I think this might have something to do, and I think this might, unfortunately, confirm some of my worst fears."
What do you mean?
He
Take a look at what he's showing us, but I can't read it, obviously, it's in fucking Dwarvish.
He puts the book down and he turns it and he slides it over towards you so that you can have a look at it. Oh, you right?
Can I read it?
Oh yeah, you can read it. Absolutely. And I'll give you a general sort of sense of what it is and what it's about. In the pages that you see in front of you, you can see that this book is sort of all about the abyss, and it sort of has different chapters in about it, about all the different layers of the abyss, as well as the different demon lords that control the different layers of the abyss. And the page that it's on at the moment, you see that illustration, and underneath it you can see written in this cursive sort of dwarvish runes the name Dewey Blacks.
Bloody Zell's posture checked us again.
Posture check. Thank you, Zell. Keep us honest and keep those quick coin coming. Yes, you can see the name Dewey Blacks.
Love you, Zell.
Titled just underneath that illustration of this strange gelatinous sort of ooze-like creature. And it's basically just an explanation of what Dewey Blacks is. And Dewey Blacks is one of the demon lords, and he's the demon lord of the... Oh, I just have to get that up real quick. He's the demon lord of slime, is what he's known as. And... Oh, that's the wrong page. Let me get the actual page up. And the lord of oozes and shapeless things. He's known also sometimes as the Lord of Nothing, or the Faceless Lord. He is... Yeah, that's basically what he is. He's a demon lord. So the abyss is ruled. There's different layers of the abyss, and each one is ruled by a different demon lord. And Dewey Blacks shares a abyssal realm with another demon lord. whose name is currently Zugatmoy, who is the demon lord of Decay. And it basically just goes on to talk about about his demonic realm, as well as who he is and what he is and what he does and all that kind of thing. And as you're reading, Y says, here, he flips the page and he indicates a certain passage in the book. And the passage is talking about the demon lord Jewelblex being able to awaken slimes and other creatures like that when they're sort of in his presence. I think this goes a long way into confirming some of my worst fears. Your friend Glabagul speaks of a voice that talks to him in his dreams. I have had my suspicions for a time now that the Underdark has become home to at least one demon lord, if not more. And the fact that your friend Glabagul has been awakened only confirms my suspicions that at least the demon lord Jewelblex is here in the Underdark right now.
You mean the demon made Glabagul?
Now, I believe that Glabagul, he lived here already, just as a normal gelatinous cube. But you see, demon lords, they don't belong here. They don't belong in this realm. So I believe that whatever it is that brought the demon lord Jewelblex here, and perhaps even possibly more other demon lords, I do not know just yet, but whatever it is that brought him here perhaps took him unaware, and that Jewelblex is seeking to draw to himself perhaps some sort of army. He's calling, awakening slimes, oozes, and creatures such as your friend Glabagul, and calling them to him. Now, your friends, your Glabagul, as you say, told me that the voice called to him, and called to him to a great domed building. I must confess, I do not know exactly which building he is talking about, but if there are demon lords here in the Underdark, then this is bad news. This is bad news, not just for us, not just for the people of the Underdark, but this is bad news for everyone in the material realm. Do you understand?
Demons not supposed to be here. Zerathul would want to stop them.
And he slams his fist on the
I
table.
am also stop them.
Your friend here, Patch, speaks the truth. Demon lords do not belong here. And if they are allowed to remain, then they will cause... who knows how much damage they can cause. And I assure you this...
Alashrind demands that I make them go away in Zerathul's stead.
I can assure you this, if they are allowed to wreak havoc here in the Underdark, there will be a time when they emerge into the greater world and wreak havoc upon the surface world as much as they have done down here in the Underdark.
They should not even be in this realm at all.
This is correct. And of course, I've hinted that I belong to a certain organization, and I feel that we have come to know each other well enough, come to trust each other. I belong to an organization known as... what the fuck is it known as? The Society of Brilliance. People like myself who come from societies here in the Underdark that have banded together to bring the light of civilization to the rest of the Underdark, to abolish slavery and to bring some sort of equality to the people who are downtrodden. It seems that our research into this effect from the phasers has led to this. Now, we don't exactly have enough power to fight back against the demon lords, but perhaps if we could work together.
What do you think, guys? I know I'm in, but I also promised to help you get out of here, so If you still want to leave, I'll do that back and help these guys with the demons.
No offense, unless you've got an army under your cloak, we are no help against
I
demons.
can raise one. If we get above ground, I can call on the Gentala Shar. They would send everybody for this.
Is it gonna get out of this bloody hole? Is it gonna help us get out? If it's gonna help us get out, then...
We would have to get out for me to be able to do that. And then
No, I
bring
mean-
back help.
To kill these demons, is it on our way, or is it out of our way?
I
That's
don't
what I'm
think
asking.
it's a demon lord, Thrash. They're, really, really... We need... Like Lady Athera said, we need armies. So we need to get out first, and then call on people we know. You're a mercenary, right?
Yeah.
Your company would be really helpful. And I can call out to my order.
Yeah, they'd be helpful if you have about half a dozen gold coins. They wouldn't do anything just for free.
Half
It
a
would cost
dozen's
you.
not that many. I can get that from the Gentalashar treasury.
It was a figure of speech.
Well, I'm
But-
sure we can work something out. We have to stop the demon lord. Zarathil would want us to.
Well, I mean, we've got to get out anyway. I'm in.
We
'Cause
do.
I'm getting out of this hole.
We get out, we call for help, then we come back. With the
Let's
help.
just... We've got to find everyone else first. Like, we can't just leave them.
Of course.
And Perseus is... Wait, what was he again? Commander or something? I mean, he's got
He
an
was-
army.
He was a standard bearer.
He was a
But he
deserter,
has-
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Sounds like a
We probably
wanker.
could- Oh, that is the call of the night.
I
Well
like
done,
that.
Toby.
I like that figure of speech, by the way. That old classic figure of speech cost you half a dozen gold for a company of dwarves. You guys know that figure of speech, right?
They're not just dwarves. Like,
See, because the dwarves, they're so short, they don't need much gold. It's a half a dozen for a whole company, and that's all they need.
it was a bit... It's like, I don't know.
I mean, like,
how
depending on the
much-
size of the company, I've seen one gold be referred to as like $100.
Yeah, that's
You know, like,
around about how I
equivalent
look at
value.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's still like $600. If it's a small company
yeah, I guess.
for a short mission,
couple of
like,
dollars.
we don't know how big this mercenary company
Imagine
is.
you
It
probably
might
don't
only be
wanna
half
tell
a
them.
dozen people.
You probably don't want to tell them
I
we're going to be
think
going
it's
up
bigger.
against a demon lord for 600
Oh
gold
no,
pieces.
just that there's trouble in the Underdark that we need help with. Of course.
Toby,
As long
can
as
you
Thrash
please
doesn't spill
stop
the
calling
beans.
to everyone? By the way, come on, man. Can you be professional? They're
Sorry.
they're fans.
Is it really everyone, or is it just Goldilocks?
Just Goldilocks.
I feel like
I'm gonna get a mop bucket, I think.
You're gonna need more than that. You're gonna need a grinder to get that out. So, all right, long rest, done.
Yay.
Thrash, not feeling
Level
so
up?
good.
Yeah.
Akira, level down. And what's the plan? Where do you guys want to go?
Yeah, what's the plan,
Well,
guys?
Didn't why? Oh no! D&D Beyond rolled a 1 on their API check. I got to do a refresh. Didn't Y know which direction we should head if we were trying to get out of here?
Yeah, and just to brush over it real quick, he will point out to you that the body of water that you're currently residing next to connects to the Dark Lake. Basically, if you head out towards the north and just turn towards the northwest. He believes, as to the best of his ability, because he's not quite sure exactly where he is, but if you follow it perpendicular along to this body of water, that you will eventually come out to the Dark Lake. Now, you guys were heading towards the Dark Lake in order to get to the town of Slubaladop, to hire a boat potentially, or find a boat so that you can travel the Dark Lake to get the Gracklestug, because it's the safest way to travel.
Yes.
Do you have money for a boat?
I don't know.
I mean, you guys are magic. Can you just magic a boat?
I mean, maybe I could druidcraft one? But I don't have druidcraft.
Well, there's tables in here. We could just make a boat.
I mean, has anyone got proficiency with carpentry tools?
Let's have a look.
Do we even have any carpentry tools?
Probably not.
No. I mean, yeah, no, probably not, even in all that gear we stashed.
If you have a good look around here, you can find that all of the furniture is broken and rotting and smashed. The best that you can probably find is the wooden planks from the pier itself. They're probably in the best condition. Even some of those are quite old and blackened. But you don't have any carpentry tools, and there's nothing around here that you could probably scavenge. It seems to be that this building that you're currently in must have been some type of mining expedition of some sort, but was abandoned a long time ago and has been completely ransacked ever since then. I think I said on the previous episode, even the front door has been scavenged. So
what's the plan?
and Y will point out to you, and he'll be like, I think you are in luck, because I do not believe that your pursuers would pursue you through the way that you came. You say that it is blocked off and completely submerged under the water. I think this buys you a little bit of time, so... while of course you could probably make some sort of improvised boat of some sort, but I would not probably suggest it. It would be best if you find a proper form of travel over the Dark Lake. Well, the Dark Lake, of course, is the safest way to travel. That is not without its dangers, so to speak. Posture check again, guys. It is not without its dangers of its own. So, traveling with a makeshift raft, while it can be done, of course, it is entirely up to you, but I would probably take the overland travel, especially if you do not have a guide for travel across the Dark Lake.
I mean, does it look like there's any large animals in the water?
Do you want to make a perception check to see if there's any large animals in the water?
I mean...
Have a look. Want to get out there?
There's not going to be dolphins in there, are there?
Looks like we lost Ramy's video feed, but he'll be back, guys. You go out there and you see Flipper from the late 90s TV show Flipper jump out of the water. It's like, I can't do Flipper noises. And he lands, he flops up onto the pier. Thank you, guys. And immediately dies from exposure.
Amazing. Okay. So that's a no.
No.
I'll take that sarcasm as a no. Ideas. Thoughts. Opinions.
Alright, tell you what, guys. Let's go for a short break. Talk about it. Think about which way, how you want to proceed. There is a clear overland way of getting there, or you could try and improvise a way to cross the Dark Lake. And when we come back, we'll get your decision and we'll move on from there. What do you reckon, guys? Alright, so for people listening on Spotify and or Google Podcast, for every live stream, they are divided into two parts. So this part has been episode 19, I think it is. And when we come back from the short break, that will be episode 20. But for everyone who's watching live, please stick with us. We will be back very shortly